From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm your host, Chris Piner. On today's show, we have Uintah County Sheriff candidate Leonard Isaacson with us in the studio. Welcome to Local Point.
Thank you.
And I should clarify, this is just for the first segment. The second segment will have the other candidate as well. But would you just give us a little bit of your background?
Sure. I've been in law enforcement for 19 years. I put myself through the Weber State Academy, which meant I paid for it myself while I was carrying on a full-time job, providing for my family. 95, Cecil Gurr with Roosevelt City decided to hire me, so that's where I started my career, was in Roosevelt City. I spent 5 years with Roosevelt City, and then I took a position with Uintah County on the road. Performed patrol duties for about another 7 years. Then I got a little bored. There was an option to become a detective, so I put in. They accepted my application. I became a detective. Shortly after becoming a detective, about 6 years ago, I turned into the sergeant over the detectives division. I've been there ever since.
And that's with Uintah County? With
Yes.
Uintah County Sheriff's Department?
With the
So
Sheriff's
that's where
Department,
you are currently. All right. Well, good. Now, what makes you the right candidate for Uintah County Sheriff?
Well, I had the opportunity to work under Jeff Merrill and some of the other administrations. And when Jeff decided he wasn't going to run, I had the opportunity to look at my position in life, what I've done in the past by just putting my shoulder to that proverbial wheel and doing my job. I realized that I was very effective in my job, and that was the one thing that happened is I turned my job from a job into a lifestyle. Based upon it being a lifestyle and the ethics, morals, and values I had doing my job, I decided it was time to do one of two things: either step up and do the job, or as the sheriff, or sit down, be quiet, and see what happened. Well, knowing that I was, in my words, the person I wanted as the sheriff, as far as characteristics, I went ahead, I put in for the job, and here I am today.
All right. Now, should you be elected Uintah County Sheriff, what kind of goals do you have? Do you have some idea of what you'd like to see happen?
Oh, goodness.
What you'd like to do?
I started off with 3 generic issues that I'd like to do and make sure I accomplished in a term. But the interesting thing is I decided to go out and start talking to people in the community. I started by literally knocking door to door with people and talking with them, introducing myself, because when I was doing my job before, I mostly dealt with the people that was making poor decisions. And I decided after a while that the people that was talking to me from the community was actually talking about the 3 things I had decided to change. So the more I talked with those people, the more I found out that I was on the right trail. One is communications between the community and the Sheriff's Department. At times, that communications doesn't flow very easy. Sometimes the community tells the officer, the deputy, what their feelings are, the way they're perceiving things, and well, the officer's got other things he's doing, and he runs to those other things, and sometimes that communication doesn't reach the top. So I wanted to create a citizens board. People from different areas in the community, different walks of life, that have and are concerned in their community to step forward and talk with me and let me know what they think needs to be done. Sometimes some of that's already being done, but they just don't, well, they don't realize it's being done because they haven't been told. So create a board where people can come and talk to me monthly, quarterly, what needs to be done. And that'll be dictated by that group of people. Another thing that I wanted to do is I've looked at the drug crisis. It's epidemic basically in the world, but what's in our community, and I see that we're doing the same thing and we're getting the same results. We chase the supply. We arrest the people that's supplying our community, and when that person goes away, a lot more comes in. Well, I got looking outside the box. There's a couple of things we don't have. We don't have a rehab center out here. We don't have a large ability to supply back the tools needed for people to change. Not only that concept that I'm for, to put some effort into, the effort of the children. We don't have in the schools as much education as we used to with the DARE program not being around. I'd like to see the officers get back in talking with the students, that understanding and that cooperation and the understanding basically that law enforcement, we're out there to protect and serve, but more importantly, we're also there to tell them about the downfalls, the pits of not only drugs, but also gangs and other bullying type issues. And then the last thing was, the Sheriff's Department has a budget for these 22 road officers we got, and by the time you fill it out in dollar values, there's about $240 for continued education to make them understand the importance of their job and help them, well, be happy and be trained good enough that not only are they safe, but everyone else is safe. And in that fashion, I'd like to see more information and training to the officers to benefit the community and the people in it, which include the kids, well, everybody.
All right. Now, we've talked a little bit off camera about the fact that this particular election has two Republican candidates, so this upcoming, what I would think of as a primary, really is the election. Can you tell us just a little bit about the date? And
Sure. It is truly the election because there is no other candidates running for the Sheriff's Department, some of the others. So June 24th actually is the election primary for the Republican Party. Become a Republican member, go out and vote. If you like what I stand for and the changes I want to make, please go and vote Uintah County Sheriff for Leonard Isaacson.
all right, thank you for coming. And we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor, Strata Networks.
Strata Networks is proud to bring the first true 4G LTE network to the Uintah Basin. 4G LTE is the most powerful mobile broadband available anywhere in the world. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, you can stay connected like never before. Video chat without delay, stream HD TV or movies in an instant, and download or upload in seconds. For details, visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
Welcome back to Local Point. Now I'm joined by Vance Norton, who's the other candidate for Uintah County Sheriff. Welcome to Local Point.
Appreciate being here.
Glad to have you here. We'll start off by just asking you to give a little bit of your background.
As far as my background, as far as living here in Vernal, I've been here since I was a young kid. My parents were born and raised here. They moved out to Provo, and then that's where I was born, and then they missed the basin, so they came back, and I've been here ever since. As far as law enforcement, I started in 1993 with Uintah County Sheriff's Office. I spent 13 years there, and then in 2006 I ended up moving over to Vernal City Police. And that's kind of the years of experience as far as, so it made 20 years, and so it was an exciting run at that time as far as going through 20 years of law enforcement here in the basin. It's been very rewarding, a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, helped a lot of people throughout that 20-year career, and excited. And I don't want to get out of it. That's kind of why I'm running for sheriff. There's a lot that I want to do and where I want to take the Sheriff's Department, so very excited about that.
Now you are currently with Vernal City.
I retired in December.
Oh, you retired, so that's what you meant by
Yes,
okay.
And the reason I retired was actually knowing that this was going to be a long process, and I wanted to be able to get out there and meet the people and tell them, you know, this is what I'm about, and I didn't want to have any conflict as far as saying, hey, you know, he's campaigning on duty or something like that. So I want to make sure that, you know, I was out there meeting the people and I have the time to do it. And it's fun just going out every night, knocking on doors and talking to people and getting the responses and seeing what their concerns are for our community, because that's what it's all about, is making sure it's safe.
You've already somewhat answered some of this, but what kind of things qualify you for the position of Uintah County Sheriff?
Well, the 20 years of experience. I mean, I started in patrol and was 9 years in patrol, and then went into detectives in the Sheriff's Office, and then I was recruited to go to Vernal City as a detective over there, and went into as a sergeant and was over the detectives over there in Vernal City. And I mean, thousands of hours of experience. I've been pretty much involved through the investigations on almost every homicide in the Uintah County and some throughout the state, we were able to be, because of our skill, we were asked to go out to Tooele on a homicide and help on and solve a case that they claimed was an accident, and we were able to show through my photography and everything of the exhumed body that she was actually murdered by her husband, and so that experience is what I have, to bring to the county, and I think, for the most part, a lot of people in the community know me. There's a lot that don't, I guess, but I've always strived to be the best, and that's kind of where I want to take the department. I want Uintah County Sheriff's Department to be the department that everybody in the state wants to work for. And I think through my leadership, I think we can get that.
And that's really our third question. Should you become elected, what are your goals? What would you like to see have happen?
Well, the main thing is to make sure that the community feels safe and that they know that we're out there and we're out there for them. And we're the high, as far as education of our officers, that they're well trained and that they're out there and they're able to take care of the problems. But I want, the main thing as far as, there's no other job that, other than law enforcement or the military, that you put on a bulletproof vest and you put on a gun and you're going out there and you say goodbye to your wife and you don't know if that's the last time you're going to say goodbye to them and their families. So I want the families of the people that work for the department to know that we have the best department, we have the highest level of training, and they can feel comfortable that they know that we're behind the officers that are out there on the streets every day, and we hope that, we're going to make sure that they come home and that their families are backed up by us. And that goes towards the community too. We want them to know that I want the officers to be approachable. I want them to, somebody in the community to come up and ask an officer at any time that they're not, timid or something like, the officer looks scary or something. I want the officers to make sure that they can be out there and be helpful in the community and make sure that, I guess, that level of professionalism is out there.
Right. Anything else you'd like to add in here?
Well, we only had 6 minutes to talk, so the main thing is I have a website at nortonforsheriff.com, and then on my Facebook, Vance Norton for Sheriff on Facebook page. There's a ton of stuff as far as my background, all my experience, everything like that. So definitely go to that, read more about me, definitely make an educated guess. Not a guess, but an educated vote as far as making sure that you vote for the right person. And I believe I am the right person with my experience and leadership values and my business sense as far as owning 3 different businesses, and they've all been successful. I think with a $13 million budget, that's going to be very important. We want to make sure that there's a good business sense that's running the department. So.
Now remind us one more time when the election is and what people need to do to prepare for that.
Well, the primary is going to be June 24th as far as the vote, but that's going to determine who, me or the other guy, as far as, because there's no Democrats or Independents or anything. It'll be decided on June 24th. So early voting started on the 10th, and I believe will be over on the 20th. So make sure you can get out there and vote early if you want. But like I say, educate yourself.
But make sure that you vote in this one. Don't wait until November.
Correct, because this is it. This is the one. This is the one, and make sure that you go out and I want you to vote for Vance Norton.
All right. Well, thank you for coming today, and thank you for watching today's show. That's all for now. Please join us next time right here on VTV Channel 6. And remember to like us on Facebook for updates on your favorite VTV programming.